Thank you very much for joining us on the Dear Reality album. We've put a lot of work and effort into this. I think it's been a year and a half, so it means a lot that everybody will be watching this and just enjoying our music that we've put a lot of work into. Dear Reality album is a concept album. It's one of those things that's it's a story throughout. So we start with our very first song, Maladaptive Daydreamer, and then we work our way down to Death Watch. And those songs all connect together. So keep that in mind that it is a concept album, but I would like to disclaim that in no way should affect your viewpoint on the songs. You should interpret it in your way. It should be powerful in your own way, and not the only meaning is this, and that therefore this is what the song should be. It should be your interpretation, but also keep in mind that there is a story that's being told throughout this.
It means a lot, actually, because it's been 4 or 5 years. I remember Andy writing it, listening to him recording it in the garage, and thinking, man, I really want to put some heavy guitar in there. And so for the last 4 years, it's been a conversation that we've had. Those songs really need to be in the key of metal.
Time consuming. This album took so much time to record. It was extensive, and I pushed myself beyond what I thought I was capable of. Not only myself, but for everybody who was going to listen to it. It was one of those things where I thought I knew how to mix, and then when writing this album, I learned that I didn't know how to mix, and I learned a lot through the process. Playing drums, I pushed myself to those limits of I could do better. The piano playing, I said to myself, I can do better. Vocals, those were a whole other ball game because I learned a lot of new techniques. I learned so many vocal techniques that I learned from others in other bands on how to learn on how to sing certain types of songs and what they called for. So recording this album was it wasn't just like sit down, let's press play and record. It was a lot of takes, a lot of practice, a lot of researching, a lot of learning, and overall it was a wonderful experience.
First of all, I was very excited when you first asked me to record this album. It's been a long time since I've recorded music with friends, and really it kind of ignited my passion for being creative and taking everything I've kind of been doing for the last 17 years, learning lead guitar, and everything I've tried practicing and the techniques and just everything kind of come together, and to be able to put that into a solo and into a project like this, that's been really fun.
There's a long and storied history to what this album means to me. Overall, it's been really fun. It's been eye-opening. So I'm literally recording at night at my dining room table, at my computer. Dinner's being made in the kitchen, and I'm sitting there recording. Somebody's watching TV, and I'm sitting there recording, editing. So logistically, it's been a challenge. But the feeling, it's been great because I feel like it's pushed me to be a better musician.
It was, I guess, in one word, I'll say it was challenging, which I love. The different solos were so different in their different ways. Time signatures were a challenge. It's been so long since I've laid down lead guitar tracks. I didn't want to just lay down some real basic stuff. I wanted to get what was in my head and onto the guitar and into the album. And so sometimes that required sitting there and practicing for hours and getting something down. Sometimes it required multiple takes. But it was fun. It was challenging, but overall, I love being challenged. And I feel like if an album isn't stretching your technique and your skill and your creative capabilities, then you're just kind of given 80% of what you're capable of. So it was fun for me to be able to stretch my creative capacity and kind of hone in my skills in some of those parts.
I feel like over the last few years, I've actually grown as a musician more so than in 20. I can't explain that. I don't know what that means, but I kind of feel like Andy makes me a better musician because he writes stuff that challenges me. I have to translate piano to guitar, and he writes in a lot of chord progressions, which is something I've never done. So I'm learning how to translate the piano, find the key, find the chord progression. So it's been a growth musically, it's been a challenge logistically, but overall it's been very satisfying.
So our first song on the album, Maladaptive Daydreamer, is about a person who is wrapped up in his own fantasy. So the actual definition of a maladaptive daydreamer is a person who overly daydreams throughout their life, and that affects relationships, their job, and their overall well-being as a person. Is a person who would rather live in a world of make-believe than a person who will face reality. And to cope with reality, whether that's hard times, broken relationship, their job is horrible, they will cope with that by escaping into fantasy of their own make-believe world. And so the first song on the album, Maladaptive Daydreamer, is our narrator. It's describing our character, it's setting the scene for our person here, who is a maladaptive daydreamer. That's the point of the album. That's the whole concept. Is our person, he fantasizes his whole life, and it causes relationship problems. It causes his life to go downhill. And that's what our narrator is singing about. Okay, so surprisingly, I believe it was in 2021, July 20th, that I wrote the song 3 days before turning 18, and it went through so many fun little changes. I wrote it with Henry, and Henry and I wanted the song to initially be about a person who was an accident and never should have been born.
What will people say? What will people do? Knowing his life's an accident, a ticking time bomb blue.
Obviously, that song did not take very well to anybody who listened to it.
So the first time I heard this song, I don't know why, it just immediately went to Pinkly Smooth. So listening to it, recording it, I could not help but think of the Pinkly Smooth album.
So we changed it to be the narrator of the album. And so it evolved from that. And even then, the lyrics now are different than the lyrics in the demo. And I really have grown to like the song because I think that it was very unique in the time when it was one of my very first songs I've ever written.
Hard-hitting moment would be like really the intro. I don't know, there's like this Rush vibe that's happening in that intro. But I wanted to make it heavier than Rush with the chunky bum 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 bum. But that riff reminds me of Rush's concept album, where he's like telling a story about somebody who found a guitar in the cave or something. It's an epic opus, like 15-minute song or something.
Writing the drum track for it was really cool because I liked the tom thing that I did in the middle of it. It was and I like the way that I do ghost notes on the tom rather than the snare. So without further ado, let's listen to our first song on the album, Maladaptive Daydreamer. Nah, forget it. Let's go heavy.
What a foolish man he is to be.
The idea and the concept behind Friends was to have the character, he finally got something that he yearned for. He got his friend group. He's going through this motion of what if they fade, and so he decided to push himself really hard to have this friend group. He wouldn't just let the relationship figure itself out, he decided to push it.
And I think that I've strived really hard to make these songs every second count. And that's probably why it's been difficult for me to record this, because I've made sure that every note, every section, every chord means something. There's something interesting to listen to. It's not just cut and paste, even though, yes, I cut and paste my takes, but it's not just, A, B, rinse, repeat, just boring. I don't have any filler. I don't have any artificial ingredients. Every note has been calculated and thought.
When recording the drums of the song, it's really funny, it was the last song that I recorded playing on the drums for the album, even though it's the second song of the album. It was the last song, and I decided to really push myself on it and do also ghost notes, just like in the first song, on the toms, and to do a tom groove the entire time with my left hand. So I was keeping time with my right hand, and I would play something really groovy on the toms or hi-hat the whole time throughout the verses. And I like the way that sounded, because it sounds like I'm doing a roll on the toms, but I'm not. I'm still keeping time with my right hand while doing those rolls with one hand.
When we first recorded it, I was like, nah, this song will just be a one-off B track. Nobody's gonna really care about it. But then I came up with this speed picking thing at the end of each verse that probably took me a couple hours to get, because the speed picking, I hit the open note on the upstroke. So any guitar player who understands what I'm talking about, it's da 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 da, and I'm not palm muting on the upstroke. I'm actually having an open note in between all the palm mutes.
This song, apparently, when I first released it on the album of Dear Reality or Dear Fantasy, it was my most popular song. And I do not know why. It could be either because it was a well-written song or it was a very cringe song. And so either way, it got popular. It reached, I believe, over 3,000 views or listens on Spotify.
One of the things that I was always mystified by that song, Friends, is on Spotify, it's like the most popular song of Andy's ever. And so I was thinking about it, I was talking to Colleen about it, and we came to the conclusion that, more like psychologically, like every song is always about hooking up or breaking up. But there's not a lot of songs that are about like genuine just friendship. And so I kind of feel like maybe that's why this song was so popular, is because it kind of fits a need that's there.
All right, so without further ado, let's listen to Friends.
It started as a single thought. What if we all got together as best friends? Then I realized they'll start to fade. But maybe if I push, they'll all stay with me. Even though there is no more, we're all just one supporting friends. I won't leave until the end. Even though we may be torn apart from time to time, we can't get through anything as long as we are all by our sides. Even though we lose some, it's okay, because our lives are the ones that matter. And we're more how you live. so much more if in the future I ain't got a chance. But my future is rocky, but not for long, as long as you're in it. Now you should listen to all my words, because you'll never be escaping me. You are all my loving friends, but there's that one person I'd hold above all else.
Would They Could They is the part where our character reaches where he thinks that the friends in his friend group betrayed him. Would they? Could they do that? It's where he starts to spiral as he thinks they betrayed him, they hurt him, however that would be. So that would be the origin of Would They Could They. Branches is where he discovers that his friends did betray him, where it's that feeling of injustice and hurt and pain and anger within that friend group. So he decides to hurt them back by lying to them, by deceiving them, however that may be, and then basically destroy that core friendship that he had with this friend group. That's where it blew up. Instead of talking about it like a rational person, he decided to hurt them back and backstab them and just hurt them the way he was hurt, and it blew up. So when I was very first doing Branches, I could not, for the life of me, figure out what genre of music I was going for in the beginning, with the bongos and the singing and all the weird instruments. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'll just ask Jocelyn. And I look over to Jocelyn when I'm in the car, and I'm like, Jocelyn, I'm going to play this for you, and you're going to tell me, like, what genre of music do you think this is? And, like, not even 3 seconds into the thing, she's like, that's easy. It's Mongolian music. And I'm like, how did you even get Mongolian music? Like, where did you? And she's like, listen. And she puts on a Mongolian song, and it sounds exactly like the beginning of Branches. I had to learn how to do the Mongolian throat singing that I had to do in Lair to get that whole choir Mongolian sound.
And Andy says to me, I really want to keep it in its original key of G. And I was like, man, see, this is where that guitar piano thing, sometimes they just don't like each other. I don't know, maybe that's just my limitation as a musician, but somebody says we're going to play a song in the key of G, but I had it in drop D, and now we're going to go to G. That means I either have to tune my guitar up, and then I tried it, and it just sounded like, a very unattractive Axl Rose-esque. It just was just terrible. So like this, it just completely neutered any heaviness.
I remember sitting there, coming up with a million different ideas, and in my head I wanted something to be melodic, because that's kind of how it lent itself. When there's so much going on in the background, I kind of wanted to create something that felt melodic. At first, it was I laid out some like different ideas. I had a million different ideas for this one actually, and it just like wasn't jiving well. I don't know. Didn't feel right. It had to feel right. So I tried and it wasn't getting there. And then I just thought, hey, what if we did halftime sweeps, and where I'm just doing these arpeggios, and they're just in halftime, and just harmonize each other. And so that ended up sounding the best and ended up working out the best.
So in Branches, one of the things vocally is that I really wanted to do a fry scream that was high. and I can't adjust my pitch when I fry scream. And so my solution to that problem was to suck helium out of a balloon.
But then we got to this interlude section, and Andy's like, wow, I really want this to be heavy. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So then I got my baritone, and I tuned to drop G. It's just really hard to record that. Like, in between every single take, I'd have to retune because the string is so flubby, and I could barely tap the string, touch the string with a pick. That song was very, very difficult. Very difficult to record.
This song has never made me more angry in my songwriting life. I have never wanted to smash a computer or literally smash everything I had in my ever. In no project have I ever wanted to do that except for this. There's a tempo change in the middle of the solo section where Isaiah plays his guitar, and it changes times BPM, beats per minute. It goes faster. It goes, I think it's 170 beats per minute. I'm pretty sure 172.35, and it does not line up.
The thing is, it is such a fun, cool song, but production and changes and everything that it's gone through, I think I've blocked it out. It's like PTSD. It is like the bane of this album.
I have never wanted to give up on a song more than this song ever, but I figure if I just persevere through it, I'll feel more rewarded in the end because it is a really good song.
When I sat down to write the riff for the guitar solo, I specifically went into it with the intention to make it as complicated for him as I possibly could. I had a bar of 5/4 in the riff, and it wasn't repeated, so it wasn't like you could like figure out the math and be like, oh, it was a bar of 4 and then a bar of 5 and then a bar of 4 and then a bar of 5. No. I made it as tricky and as monotone as I possibly could. It's all open fret and then the first fret, and then I had some weird chromatic, who knows what I did. I don't even remember it. If you put a guitar in my hand right now and asked me to play it, I would not be able to play it. It was that weird and difficult.
The time signature and the riff was very difficult to play over. More so because before I write a solo, I want to know how to play the riff so I can kind of understand what chords the solo is going to be overlaying over it, and different ways that I can like bring out some of the notes into different chords. But the one thing about that is I could never learn the riff. He sent it to me and broke it down like slowly, and like I could figure that out, but it was still, even like at half speed, one of the weirdest riffs that I've ever played, let alone soloed over. So it was extremely challenging. That was one of the reasons why I decided, hey, when there's so much going on, sophisticated stuff going on in the background, why don't I just like simplify it and make it more melodic?
So please enjoy the blood, sweat, and most of all the tears, would they, could they, and branches.
my hand. I guess the branches will have already spread. My biggest flaw is my self-destructive personality. Boom. You can never see the past or the present. The future is what ties in our greatest pleasures. As sinners who's bound on this earth, we are on this together as birds' feathers. Trees cut down, it will collapse. Can't you hear its painful screams as it falls down to the ground? Now look at the leaf as it parts from the branch, floating violently away, it is lost to mud. And just like that tree, we're all branches and leaves, we're all waiting for a time to be cut back down. Look at the leaf as it parts from the branch, floating violently away, it is lost to mud. And just like that tree, we're all branches and leaves, we're all waiting for our time to grow back out. I will beat blood, adrenaline will course through my veins as my skeleton desperately crawls outside of me, tries to escape all the pain I'll cause. Final cause.
So the concept of unrequited is a deep one, because this is where we start to get into that disassociated realm. Unrequited is about our character He finds a love. And that person that he loves does not love him. She loves somebody else. That happens to be his friend. So he feels betrayed by his friend and his love interest. So there's a transition between Unrequited and the rewrite. Now we're getting into the part of the album where he's living in fantasy now. That's his way of disassociating from the world. We're transitioning to his world. No longer in reality. We're in fantasy.
I was learning how to play United, which was on my, so I was playing on my acoustic down in E flat, and I came up with pretty much the riff that you hear in the beginning of the song. It was more like chords, and then when I would get to the end, I was like, I couldn't quite figure that out. It was weird, and so when I went into recording Unrequited, which is pretty much the same progression but in the key of F, I tried to play that same thing on my acoustic. I tuned it up to F. I tried to play that riff on my acoustic, and it just didn't work.
I came up with the rewrite is because I was in Barnes and Noble one day, and there was this old kid's guitar that was completely out of tune. And I was strumming on the guitar, and it came up with the do 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 do, and it came up with that little melody, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. But the strings were out of tune, so when I was playing it on piano, those notes didn't add up. So I actually had to change the note sounds to be out of tune, to be really flat and really sharp and all around out of control. So if you played it on a piano, it wouldn't match up to what you're hearing on the song because they're out of tune. They're flat, sharp, and all over the place. And that's the beginning and the history behind the rewrite.
And so I grabbed the Telecaster that I inherited from my friend, and then I used the neck pickup, and then I found some tone that I had, I don't know, I have a Solano plugin or whatever. And I was like, wow, that sounds really, really good. It was really shimmery, and it had like this punchy neck pickup Telecaster thing going on. I was like, man, so that totally changed the direction that I was going. And that's one of those moments where the song tells you what it wants to be. All right, so please enjoy Unrequited and the rewrite.
My best friend told me before I had died, it's you and I till the end of time. An open book, the one left behind. The chapter tells of one hopeful life. Oh, naive life. friend. But when we're used to run, you'll be out now blend. And now it's size that's got feeling. You were my friend from the beginning. You can keep all your mistakes. Dead this friendship for my sake.
In United, this is his own make-believe world. It's the opposite of Unrequited, where he envisions himself with the person he loves. So it's in his own. What if they did get together? What if they were together and they had a relationship? So when I was recording United the first time, so come with me and I'll show you the way. Our wonderful journey, our life will start today. It didn't mean anything to me. It's literally only there to serve the purpose of like continuing it forward. But when I met Jocelyn, this song actually meant a lot to her. When I knew that it meant a lot to her, I actually re-recorded it. I put a lot of effort into the piano. It's actually one of my best piano work I have ever done to this day. All of the sweeps, all of the chords, all of the different melodies, nothing is played twice in there. All of the trumpets, all of the violins, everything was so meticulously thought out that it made this song really special. There's different time signatures, there's 5/4, there's 6/4. It was very hard to record vocally.
As I get to know.
But I made sure that I put a lot of emotion into the vocals so that it would be conveyed like how deeply this song means. And it is for Jocelyn. So enough of me jibber jabbering. Let's listen to United.
My heart is telling me she's better than you know. Don't let this one go. So what will I do now? It was meant to be just me and her, a possibility, one that sets us free. So come with me, I'll show you the way. A wonderful journey, our life will start As I am holding her hand, I tell her I love you. The sun sets too. I'm glad my heart found you. Our bond ever grows as I get to know the one I hold so dear.
So now we're on Desperate Lies, and Desperate Lies is one of those songs that's very contemplative. It's the part in the story where our character's mind is so corrupt that even in his own world, he can't even come up with a relationship that works out. He believes that his partner is cheating on him and is running away with somebody else. And so that causes a lot of deep hurt in himself. He's making a problem that doesn't exist, obviously, because it's in fantasy. And it just goes downhill from there. Even though in the end of the song, we realize that she never was cheating on him in the first place. So he created up a whole story where he thought she was cheating on him, and then in the end found out she wasn't.
So Desperate Lies, I think, it's one of 2 tracks on the album that gives me goosebumps. I mean, I like all the songs, don't get me wrong. They're all really great. But they're all great in a different way. You know, some of the songs you can just jam out to. Dear Reality is just like, you know, it's just like a punk song. You can just rock out, or they're like more like, oh, contemplative, like unrequited. There's something about Desperate Lies. It's just goosebump inducing for me.
Number one, it's a very complex piano solo, like super complex. Then I said, okay, let's start figuring this out on the piano or on the guitar. So I started, mapping out the arpeggios that you were doing on the guitar, and and the arpeggios were patterns I've never A, seen before, and B, played before. And so I remember there was one part that required half of a sweep and then a triplet at the end on the guitar. I had to do this, I had to sweep down, and then do this triplet right at the end for it to sound good. Because if I were to do a sweep, there was no way I was going to do a sweep. I basically would have to stretch from my ring finger to the pinky finger. It was like 6 frets, the way it laid out on the guitar.
I remember playing the piano solo to that. It took about 3 weeks for me to be able to write and play. And even then it was sloppy. And so I had to keep redoing it over and over. In fact, actually my forearms started to hurt and cramp up when playing that solo. It was very complicated for me to play and to write, but ultimately it was a lot of fun, and being able to do that solo in the first place is just amazing.
The line, I don't remember the exact words. I think he says, I'll tear your heart out because it's mine, but not your body, I'll throw that away. That to me it's so symbolic and powerful of betrayal between 2 people that committed to love one another for life. I feel like that moment where your heart belongs to me, but your body, you abused it and misused it. I don't want anything to do with that, but your heart is mine. The end of the song where he says, I wish that I saw your crying eyes and not desperate lies. That moment, that gravity, that the weight of a terrible, miscalculated decision just comes crashing down like a ton of bricks. That line is just so heavy, and I just think that revelation right at the end of the song it takes the goosebumps into like sorrow and tears and just I'm defeated. And it's just great. It's just a great emotional roller coaster.
So like when I come out into the music room to record or to mix music, Jocelyn will come out here sometimes, and I feel bad because when you're mixing the music or you're looking over the songs, you have to keep listening to the same part over and over, or you'll listen to one section and then stop it and then make the adjustments and then go to the next one and then over and over again.
And I was thinking of the song as a whole. To me, it sounded more like, a little bit more like a ballad. And so we have this piano piece and there's this crazy piano stuff going on. If I throw in a guitar solo, it could sound cool, but it might also sound like too much. And so I just sat there and I learned that one piece. I thought that would be cool to kind of mimic on the guitar and mix with you. But I thought, how do we let the piano shine and the guitar shine at the same time? I went the entirely different route. While the piano was doing crazy stuff, I was hitting really big notes and kind of going for more of the big ballad solo sounding stuff. I wanted to kind of take the listener to a different space. I wanted them to feel like instead of the piano and the guitar being together, there was kind of like these two things, almost like two dancers, and they were doing this like orchestration together. Is kind of like the thing that I had in my head.
So, let's listen to Desperate Lies.
Tell me, are you afraid of crying eyes or sad goodbyes? Malicious and detached you are from me, but it's not like you care at all. I found out it's unbearable too. I'd slip my gun and bleed out for you. Stop me from believing that you are my one. For all these thoughts just fill me with false hopes. I suffer silently. It's a passion reaction from a blow to the head. Oh, once the words have been on
So No Longer in Disassociation is now we're into the part of the album where our character comes out of that fantasy world that he's created. He's no longer in his maladaptive state. He is out of it. That is why the song is called No Longer in Disassociation. When I first wrote No Longer in Disassociation, it was November, and Mom and Dad were at an Elton John concert with Papa and Grandma. And it was the very first time that I ever decided to write something completely with MIDI, to write trumpet pieces, French horn, flute, saxophone, bass, and obviously piano. But yeah, it was the first time I ever tried to compose a score for like a trailer or like just a 51-second piece for a song. And out came this song, and I've never been able to put it in anything except for this album, which I thought would have been which fits perfectly into that coming out of that fantasy world that our character created. So let us listen to No Longer in Disassociation. So Cruel Jokes is a point in our song where our character, he's out of disassociation, and his friend group comes back. They want to help him. They are like, we can fix this, we can do this, but our character is just not having it. Because we got to realize that he made up his own world, he made up this whole thing, and he was hurt, and he just does not have that emotional capability to fix whatever happened. So he's saying that he's a monster, that he is going to leave, he's going to end things. He's saying that people didn't really know who he was in the first place.
That song had a lot more involved. It was more involved than I anticipated. Ironically, I think it's probably the tightest, best sounding song that we recorded. I spent way too long trying to figure out settings and guitar tones and, you know, the typical diva guitar. Oh, the tone's not working for me. I just don't understand how there's 933 plugins. There has to be one meter.
What's the meter for?
So we can set our input levels.
Ah.
Once I got started on it, one of the things that I really respect about Avenged Sevenfold is their ability to just play a riff and then never play it again. I was like, you know what? I respect that. And so I applied that feeling and that knowledge, and I said, you know what? I'm going to write stuff and I'm not going to play it the same twice. I mean, maybe I do, but in principle, there are things that if you really listen carefully, there are things that do not repeat the same way twice. Well, let's see if the timing is correct.
So there's this really cool part in Cruel Jokes that I love. I was sleeping one time and I had this dream of writing Cruel Jokes. I heard this very melodic part in it on the chorus, and I woke up and I immediately texted Dad. I was like, this part needs to have this melodic, acoustic, soulful part.
The first chorus, there's an acoustic guitar in there, and Andy had asked me specifically to write something with an acoustic guitar. And so, because this was our first time getting back into tracking and my first time in a long time writing music and recording, I was like, yeah, okay. And it really was hard. It was really hard for me because I had this finger picking thing, and I felt pretentious because I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to jump right back in and play all this little, and it was so difficult for me. But I think the overarching goal was achieved with the vibe and the feel of, we had these little tinkles, and it was kind of like dreamy, and because it went from like this heavy, and then it went to, so it was a nice juxtaposition. I think it was very successful, but it was very difficult.
There's a word that I use a lot sometimes in my job, and that's being clear over clever, or in other words, just like keeping it simple. And at first, there was a lot of clever ideas and a lot of different things that I wanted to do. In fact, I remember having that solo. I had at least over 100 different guitar solos that I wrote for it. And it was one of those things where it was like, man, I just don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to figure out. I don't know what I want it to sound like. It could go a million different directions, and really any lead guitar solo can. In fact, one of my solos was come out with a big old dive bomb and crazy, sounding Dave Mustaine, Kirk Hammett type of like nonsense, but I didn't want to A, sound like those guys, and B, I didn't want to just make it sound like it was just kind of thrown together.
So the vocals in there were very, very fun to do. I got to do so many harmonies that were tight and a lot of background vocals. And the very end of that song, I go really high. I remember the struggle that it was to record those vocals at the very end, and all the background vocals. It took a toll on my voice. I drank so much coat throat tea to record those last vocals.
Ironically, this song, when we started recording this song, it was literally the same time where my really, really good friend of 35 years unalived himself. And some of the lyrics in this song at the time were kind of like hit a little too close to home, like especially the very last verse right after the guitar solo. So hearing that over and over and over and over, I guess I was emotionally numb, but I felt like the song was therapeutic. And I remember Andy was like, well, we don't have to record this song first. And I said, no, I want to. Sometimes you just have to live in it, and that makes you better. So this song has a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of good layers, there's a lot of sad layers, but ultimately it's the thing that got all this started. And so that's why this song is special. There's a lot of things that were like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can live with this, I can deal with that. So I think it's a great song.
Strikes me from out of the blue. Don't let me stop you from your good day. I build a wall around you anyway. A separate connection is all I need. But thank you for listening.
Dear Reality on the album. So we know that from Cruel Jokes, he denied that help. And Dear Reality is explaining why he denied that help. He's talking about like on how in his world he can breathe fire and he can breathe underwater. He doesn't need a submarine. He can breathe underwater. He is no longer touched by gods. He's a king and a sire. He's basically saying that in his world is a better life than anything the real world can offer him.
This song, I thought, was just another filler. Like, we'll just fillet it and fast food it. We'll just record it and be done. And I get the drum track. I listen to the original recording. I start noodling and, doing my thing. And I'm like, I remember like 4 years ago, I wanted to make this song a punk song. And at that time, it was in the key of E. So I start playing and I'm like, something is wrong. So I'm like, wait, this is in F. So I text Andy. He's like, oh yeah, I changed it. So I tune my guitar up to F, and then I start trying to play the riff that I thought I remembered from 4 years ago. None of it fit, none of it worked. But I wanted to keep that punk vibe, and I'm like, I'm going to make this song. I'm not a punk player, I'm not a punk connoisseur. What I know of punk music is Rancid and Green Day. I'm sorry. Listen, that's all I know. And so I did the best I could with what I understand punk being. And so I wanted it to have that strummy, da, 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 vibe.
It's not as crazy as Desperate Lies solo. I just want to match the arpeggios that the piano is doing. And then another idea, which I still might do, is to be running arpeggios, sweeping like double speed over it. That might be too much for the feel of this, but we'll see. I might, and then I might blend all three together. But I'm kind of leaning towards more of that sad sounding, longer notes, melodic type of guitar solos. But we'll see.
4 years since I recorded this song for the Avenged Sevenfold competition. This song actually won first place in their little talent show competition that they did. And when I met them for the first time, they remembered me because of this song. And they were happy to meet me, and I was very happy to meet them.
And so with this song, trying to do punk, trying to do strumming patterns that you could audibly articulate with distortion, I felt like mission accomplished. I felt like I've got the strumming, and then I got the punk riff, the chords, and I got some weird chords that I've never ever used before. The time signatures and the time changes actually really helped because I was able to come up with transitions that if those time changes didn't happen, I probably never would have thought of.
That's the key, the lyrics, the singing. God, the singing is very different too. In this song, I researched and listened to a lot of punk music so that when I sang this song, it matched that punk feel that I was going for. And even with the piano, you can tell that this song is a punk song. It just has that feel, like the stomp on the kick drum plays with the snare. It plays like it's keeping time. Makes it that punk. It has that punk feel. And this song has went through a lot of changes. Not as much as Branches though. That's not even close. But this one has went through a lot of fun and enjoyable changes rather than Branches, which went through a lot of heartache and horrible changes.
I get a text message. I sent it off to Andy and Jocelyn. I'm like, well, what do you think of this? And then I get a little Phineas and Ferb emoji, gif, whatever, doing the little dance. And I'm like, oh, bowling for soup. And then now I can't unhear it. And so I'm sorry. You might not be able to unhear it either, but guess what? If I'm going to be accused of anything, I will take that as a badge of honor.
Now we can listen to our 11th song on the album, Dear Reality.
look up at all the stars, you start to realize it's infinite, unreachable space. But in fantasy, you see infinite, reachable possibilities.
Why you say I understand better than you can? Well then why can't you explain? So leave me be to sleep inside of this dream. The only place that offers me escape from your world. I'm stuck in fantasy, hoping this will come to be a reality. And I'm stuck playing in your dream, hoping I'll be waking up out of fantasy. And I have nowhere left to go. No one will reach out and catch me as I fall down. And I'll choose fantasy over reality anytime, because it never lets me down.
So Death Watch is our last song of the album, where we get to the point where our character has grown old. Not old per se, like just older, like this, he's not old like this very old man, but he's older, he's mature, he has moved on with his life. It's been many, many years after this whole blow up, after he's had this condition. And he's gotten to the point in his life where he regrets how everything has happened, how everything has been played out. He's reminiscing about the time that he's lost. He realizes now that at this point he should have lived in a reality and grown in the real world rather than live in his fantasy, because he realizes that nothing actually mattered in his own world. Nothing happened. Nothing has changed. He is the same person living in this world that we all live in. And it's that crushing weight and that realization that makes this song so powerful, so special, because he never really did anything. It was all make-believe, and he regrets that now.
Life is precious. It's what the song is about. Life is precious. Just enjoy every moment that you have. It's gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. We all have problems. We all feel discouragement. We all feel the weight of mistakes. And sometimes we can feel like we're alone. And so lyrically, emotionally, just when you hear the song, know that you're going to be okay. And that you're not alone, because every single human on planet Earth has the same feelings from time to time of being discouraged, or, oh, I missed that shot, or, oh, I made that mistake and I said the wrong thing. It's gonna be okay.
So recently, Jocelyn has been talking a lot about Michael Jackson, and I got to listen to a lot of Michael Jackson's isolated vocals, and he layers and layers and layers those vocals. There are so many takes on those vocals. His vocals were so overwhelmingly intimidating, but he also inspired me to write 3-part harmonies in this song. We get to our final chorus of this album, the most powerful and highest I've sung in this album. I did take after take after take on those last vocals, and I think it was about 12 or 13 takes that I went into it, where my voice was so hoarse and so raw, it was hard to speak. And the next morning, I literally gave it my all on those last vocals.
There's just a line in the song about silence me and start your day again. As I was recording this song, up to a few months prior to that and whatever, I've been going through a little bit of my own personal feelings, call it that. It actually was very encouraging to me. When I heard that song, Silence Me and Start Your Day Again, I was listening to that from my own perspective of somebody telling me to be quiet and just move along. Know your place, get in line, kind of a mentality. And so I was like, you know what, I accept that. And I was writing really good music. I was feeling really good about what I was doing. I don't know, it just helped me get to a place where I could just say, yeah, you know what, that's fine, I accept that.
Lyrically, I hope that people will realize that this song is about just enjoying the time that they have. Our moments of what we do with our life and our actions all are very special. They are what makes us us. That's what makes our relationships. That's what makes our lives happy and worth living for. And having a song like this, making you realize that, giving that hope, even though it is a dark and heavy song, it's also uplifting to know that we should live our lives the best that we can.
When Andy first wrote this song, it was about 4 years ago, and I remember listening to him recording this song, and I could hear him. I was in the garage and the music room was next to it, and I could hear it over and over. And I was like, man, that song's so great. I just love that song. And now here we are, we get to actually record it with some metal and guitars and all of this complication and all this really good stuff. Even though the song is like emotionally heavy and it's got a lot to it, I took a cue from Dave Matthews and I wanted the verses to sound hopeful. And so I had this riff that I wrote a long time ago. I don't even know how it could have been 10 years for all I remember. But there's like this thing that I do in this drop D with my pinky, and it just adds like this really hopeful little melody where you're just like, oh, I want to dance to that. And it sounded really cool. And I remember telling Andy, I was like, I want at least the verse to have that Dave Matthews hopeful, peppy, major key thing going on to kind of oppose the weight and the heaviness of the message.
I thank you all for staying here and listening to our entire album. It has been a tremendous gift, and what a ride. Thank you all for listening, and I hope that you enjoy our last song on the album, Death Watch. Doesn't seem out of character for me. Please, the time is ticking, the bells are ringing, and I'm just singing away. Time I had, I took away from me, like a person in captivity, selfishly stealing
the sun.